Part A is about you're being asked to describe the following terms of mergers. Horizontal merger. What is a horizontal merger? A merger between competitors. Horizontal merger, a merger between competitors. What of vertical merger? A merger between firms operating in the same production line. So vertical, a merger between firms operating in the same line of production. The finished goods of one firm and the raw materials of the other firm. It's a merger between companies that are related, right? Yeah, that operate in the same line of production. That's about the vertical. Generic. A merger between firms in the same industry but providing alternative products. Substitute products. Same industry but producing substitute products. Then of course conglomerate. A merger between firms that have no relationship at all. This is about the conglomerate, the congeneric, vertical, and horizontal. Now part B. We've gone so fast. Because I was good. Now, but B Limited and B Limited are companies operating in the same line of business. In the past few years, A Limited has experienced stiff competition from B Limited to an extent that A is now contemplating acquiring B in order to consolidate its market share. The following financial data is available about the two companies: annual sales to owners of Apple, net income, ordinary shares outstanding in millions, earnings per share. So earnings per share is the net income divided by the number of ordinary shares. Market price per share to honor. Both companies are in the 30% income tax bracket. The maximum exchange rate that A Limited should agree to, assuming that it does not expect dilution in its post-acquisition earnings per share. So the non-diluted maximum exchange ratio. So do you remember the formula of maximum exchange ratio? Maximum exchange ratio equals to offer price of predator divided by the MPS of the predator, right? So you divide by the MPS of predator. But we don't expect the dilution. So we need to get what? The net dilution of our price, right? Non-dilution of a price of predator, which equals to pre-merger. This PE ratio. Yes. Of predator, we multiply by what? Yes. So we multiply by the before merger or the pre-merger earnings per share of targets. We know that PE ratio equals to MPS divided by EPS of the predator. Then we multiply by earnings per share of targets. Right? We have the MPS of predator. I think 60. And earnings per share of the predator, 4 shillings. And earnings per share of the target, 3 shillings. So is the non-diluted offer price. Non-dilution offer price, 45. So shillings 45. So therefore, the maximum exchange ratio becomes offer price, which is pattern 45, divided by the MPS of the predator valuing 60. That is 0. 0.75. What does that mean? That A Limited is offering how many new shares? A Limited is offering 0.75 shares for every 1 share of B Limited. Ndio. What is the ratio of exchange? Kwa kila share ambayo ulikuwa nayo, tutakupa 0.75 shares. So you'll come in you'll come in the new company and you'll own 0.75 shares for everyone that you get. Ndio. 0.75 is to 1. Then, but you are being asked to get the total premium the shareholders of B Limited would agree to receive at the exchange ratio in B1 above. Now, kwa lugha ya mwananchi kwanza, premium is like the profit, right? Now, what is the value of 1 share of B Limited? I think 30 bob. 30 bob, ndio. So cheki chenye anasema we are offering 45 shillings for every share of 30 shillings that you get. We are buying the new offer price is how much? 45. So we are offering 45. So the total premium is simply the offer price minus the MPS. To get the profit, then you multiply by the number of the shares. That's how much profit does B Limited get? So the offer price becomes, so the premium becomes offer price of Predator minus MPS of target. That one gives us the profit and the premium per share. Then we multiply by the number of what? Number of shares of targets. So you're offering, is it 45? Minus the price of 30. So that is the premium per share. Then you multiply by the number of shares. How many shares does B Limited have? 3 million. So the total premium. When you listen, the premium per share is the offer price minus the NPS. So total premium of how much? $45 million. As simple as that. Then number 3, there were so many marks with marks. There were so many marks. So number 3, are being asked about A Limited's post-acquisition earnings per share, assuming that the two companies agree on an offer price of 30 shillings. So hapo lazima tuanzie wapi tena? The maximum exchange ratio. So umetupa offer price. Because the combined earnings per share is the combined earnings over the combined number of shares, right? So post-acquisition is the same as the combined EPS equals to combined earnings divided by the combined number of shares. So you can get our combined earnings, no problem. A Limited has earnings of how much? I think 40 million. Na B Limited iko na earnings ya ngapi? 9 million. So our combined earnings is 49 million. Then we need combined number of shares. Ili tufikie hapo, tunataka the exchange ratio. So what is our maximum exchange ratio? Offer price of predator divided by what? The NPS of predator. They have agreed on an offer price of how much? 30, right? Yeah. Divided by the NPS of 60. I think 0.5. So meaning what? For every 1 share that you have, we're going to give you how many new shares? 0.5 new shares. So therefore, combined number of shares. Combined number of shares. From A Limited, we are having how many shares? Missing 10 million. The ends tabaki intact, 10 million still. And from B, we are giving out 0.5 shares for everyone. Right? Out of how many shares that B has? Out of 3 million. $0.5 for everyone. So the new shares will be 1.5 million. So combined number of shares equal 11.5 billion. So therefore, combined EPS of the post acquisition EPS, the combined earnings of 49 million divided by 11.5 million. By which? 4.3. 4.3. Million cancels out. Inakunyorosha unauliza. Can check the last part. Now the last part you're being asked, A Limited's post acquisition earnings per share, assuming that for every 100 ordinary shares of B Limited, the shareholders are offered 12% debentures of shillings 500 per value. So now there will be no new ordinary shares, but instead of giving out the ordinary shares, we're giving out the debentures. When the debentures, interest will not be there. Right? So therefore, this was part 3. Now part 4. We need to get our combined earnings. Combined earnings. 40 plus 9, which is 49. 49 million. Then because you're bringing in debt, you're supposed to less what? After tax. After tax interest. So you're bringing in debt. When you bring in debt, interest is on the interest is an expense. And interest is an expense should always be affected by tax. So the ideal cost of as interest is concerned is the after tax. Is the after tax. Now, tuanze na kujiuliza how much interest or how much additional interest are we going to pay? Now we are giving out how many debentures? We are giving out 2 debentures. For how many shares? For 100, right? So giving out 2 debentures for 100 shares. Out of how many shares that they have in total? Out of the 3 million shares. Paka hapo, it gives us the number of debentures. So that is true. What is the par value per debenture? The par value per debenture, I say 500. Right? Protocol statement, very required number 4. For every 100 ordinary shares of P Limited, the shareholders are offered 12% debentures of shillings 500 per value. So to find any example, we can find the value of the debentures, right? But we don't need the value of debentures, we need what? The interest. So to get the interest, its value, we multiply by what? 12%. So how much is our interest? 3.6. Before to adjust for tax, right? So 3.6. I like going that way so that the point has give point of indifference. Before I reach for an interest here. So that after getting our interest, now we need the after tax. After tax interest. Which is 3.6 adjusted for tax. So times 0.7. 2.52. So therefore, combined earnings, net combined earnings, the difference becomes 40. 46 point. 48. 48. Right? Then can we have the combined number of shares? The combined number of shares, the A limited is equal 10 million, the B limited is that was. So total becomes 10. So the EPS 4.648. Because there's no new shares coming in. We're giving out what? Debentures. That's why interest inaongezeka, shares hazitaongezeka. Tutabaki na za A peke yake. $46.48 divided by 10, which is 4.648. But then tax is not in our syllabus. Taxing ile kwa tunasema ingekuja. Andika ujinga, usiache blank. Andika anything that you think about to get 3 marks. Dividend theory iko very class kwetu. Which one again? May 2018. So May 2018, 3C. And let me just ask, this May 2019 question 5, we did a question of that? 2019, question 5B. May 2019. Tulifanya swali ya kutengeneza kitu kama income statement kwa mergers. Okay. Then kama tulifanyia yenyewe. Tulifanyia yenyewe. So that one we did. Question 5. Excellent limited. We said May 2018. May 2018 was question 3C. So May 2018, 3C. Let's check it out. So 3, you kindly look at it in the notes. The defensive tactics available to the target farm, the poison pill, golden parachute, fair price amendments. Zote zikawa try going through the theories in the notes so that you are able to get all those things. So use of crown jewels. So what the shareholders of the target firm can do to chase away the predator, just to ensure to avoid the hostile takeover. What can the shareholders of the target firm do? What are the defensive tactics available to the target firm that will enable them to avoid the hostile takeover? So we look at Nangina. Question 3C of May 2018. Nangina Limited is considering acquiring. Nangina Limited is considering acquiring Query Limited. Nangina is contemplating financing of the acquisition of Query Limited using any of the following options. Option ya kwanza, an ordinary share for ordinary share exchange. Under the terms of acquisition, Nangina will offer one of its ordinary shares for every 2 shares in Query Limited. Are you seeing the exchange ratio there? 1/2. Still, we are offering you one of our shares for every 2 that you have, right? Alafu ya pili, ordinary shares for debentures. Nangina expects to offer 2 units of 10% debentures for every 100 ordinary shares in Query Limited. Each unit of debenture has a par value of 100 each. So ya kwanza shares itaongezeka, ya pili interest itaongezeka. The summarized financial information relating to the 2 companies for the year ended 2017 November 30th was as follows. On a profit after tax and Nangina and Query, number of shares are there, earnings per share, we don't need to be given, market price per share, and the price earnings ratio. Tax is 30%. For 10 marks, determine the combined operating profit of the 2 firms and the post-acquisition earnings per share at the point of indifference in the firm's earnings under financing options 1 and 2. The point of indifference. Remember the point of indifference? What is the point of indifference? Point of indifference? You shine where you can. The operating profit at which earnings per share is equal. It is earnings per share that is equal, but there is a point there. There's a point there. So the level of operating profit at which the EPS of two financing options is equal. And you remember the formula of EPS? So EPS equals to EBIT minus interest. We adjust for tax. We adjust for tax. No. Come out on a preference share, we guys what? The preference dividends, and everything we divide by what? Number of ordinary shares. So the EBIT of Nataputa. We need to get interest, preference dividends, and the number of shares under the two options. So we have option one. We have option one. And we have option two. We have option one and we have option two. Then we start by asking, we can start with interest. Now, under option one, do you have any interest? Currently, Nangina hana interest. And even after acquiring query with option one, there will be no interest coming in. So interest is equal to 0. What of option two? We are giving in some debt. We are giving out some debt, interest will be there. How many debentures? So 2 debentures, right? For every how many shares? For every 100 shares, right? Out of how many shares that query has? Out of 6 million. Right? 2 debentures for 100 out of 6 million shares. And each debenture has a par value of 100 shillings. And all that we multiply by what is the interest rate? To 10%. So how much is our interest? How much? 1.2. Just a big analytical. 2 debentures for 100 shares out of 6 million shares. You get the new number of debentures that you're going to offer. And out of the new number of debentures, each debenture has a par value of 100. So in the interest on the debentures, 1.2, right? What of the number of shares? Number of ordinary shares under option one, the combined, remember, Nangina akona shares ngapi? I think 20 million. Plus, what is the ratio of exchange? 1 share for how many? For 1 share for every 2. Right? Out of how many shares that query has? Out of 6 million. So combined number of shares becomes 23 million shares. Right? Then in option 2, are you giving out any new shares? Instead of giving out shares, you're giving out debentures still. So therefore, to 20 million shares the Nangina plus 0 new shares. The combined shares equal 20 million. That's the matter. Preference dividends are not there. So therefore, earnings per share of option 1, EBIT is what we don't know. Minus interest of option 1 is 0. adjusted for tax, that's level 30%, divided by how many shares of option 1? 23. Equals to option 2 EBIT is what we are looking for minus interest of 1.2, adjusted for tax, divided by 20. So you can work out for EBIT. Is 0.7 EBIT divided by 23 equals 0.7 EBIT minus 1.2 times 0.7, 0.84 divided by 20. We can cross multiply, right? So 20 times 0.7 is 14. Then 23 times 0.7. 10.1 EBIT minus 23 times 0.84. 19.32. So these ones love each other. Inaweza kuja hii side. So 14 minus 16.1 negative 2.1. So negative 2.1 EBIT equals negative 19.32. So divided by negative 2.1 divided by negative 2.1. So EBIT equals to 9.2. So 9.2 million. But don't forget the question. The question wanted us to get the EBIT at the point of the difference and the combined earnings per share. So we must go back and do the earnings per share. Earnings per share, we can check any. You can check it where? At this point, right? So tunamwambia kuwa earnings per share, if we check here, it will be 0.7 times EBIT over 23, clear. So 0.7 times 9.2 divided by 23. So if you do it this other side, you should be able to get the same answer. By 2.8. As simple as that. Ingine ya mwisho. Ndani if you use option do you get? Should be the same. Option B are getting how much? 9.2 minus 1.2. Thanks. Essa assistente que eu gosto a pouco de novo. Não sei. Não sou tão mais da minha peguei exames. Yeah. Essa assistente já para o vinho gosta de ter. If they finish this, probably 0.7 million on this. Just my suspicion. I might be correct. So careful. Alright, so you're saying which one? April? April 22. April 22, question 5. Stronger limited. Hi. Now, Songo Limited has decided to acquire Trigger Limited. The financial data for the two companies are given as follows. Net sales to Konazo hapo. Profit after tax. So you have sales to profit after tax. Number of issued shares. Meaning earnings per share. If you put 28.13 divided by 7.5, you get 3.75. So let's confirm. Then the profit after tax 28.13 divided by the number of shares of 7.5. You get 3.75. Na hiyo side nyingine 3.75 divided by 1.5, you get 2.5. Good. So you confirm the information is correct. Dividends per share, total market capitalization. Total market capitalization. You know that market capitalization is the total market value. The number of shares times the price per share, right? Then for 2 marks, pre-acquisition market price per share of the combined firm. Pre-acquisition. So before acquisition, MPS of the combined firm. So MPS of combined firm. Sasa maswali tunaulizwa more tunakuwa the EPS. Sasa tumetuliza about the MPS. But there's no problem. If you have the total market value and you have the number of shares, you can get the combined firm. So the MPS of the combined firm becomes value of combined firm. Value of combined firm divided by combined number of shares. So before acquisition, the issues of exchange ratio as they come in, we just have, we have the value of Songo and the value of Trigger. The market capitalization of Songo is 420. The Trigger is happy? 45. So is the value of the combined firm. Divided by, we have the number of shares of Songo, 7.5. As a Trigger in 1.5. So for 20 plus 45 is 465. So just combine them as they are before acquisition. Compare exchange ratio itakuja 7.5 plus 1.5 we get 9. 9.00. 7.5 plus 1.5. So therefore the combined MPS 1.7. 1.7, and you get your 2 marks. So hapo mambo ya exchange ratio bado haijaingia, is pre-acquisition. So just combining A inakuja pamoja na B. Value yake unaweka pamoja zote mbili, number of shares unaleta zote pamoja. So before acquisition we combine hizo firms zote, what is the total value per share? Twende part 2. Post-acquisition earnings per share if the limited shareholders are offered a share of 30 shillings on a share per share exchange. So they're being offered a share of 30 shillings for share per share exchange. So 30 shillings is the offer. Can you start by getting the maximum exchange ratio? So maximum exchange ratio equals to offer price of Predator divided by MPS of Predator. So can we have the MPS of Predator? The total market value is how much of Predator? For 20 million. Divided by how many shares? 7.5. So only the price of one share. The total market value over the number of shares, here the value per share. 56. So share moja yake iko na 56. Right? So therefore, the maximum exchange ratio they are offering each share at 30 shillings divided by 56. That is 0. 0.54. Right? So the post-acquisition earnings per share to take the combined earnings per share. Can we have our combined earnings? The sum of profit after tax 28.13 plus the figure 3.75. So combined earnings ni ngapi? 30. That 1.88. That 1.88. Right? Do you have combined number of shares? Shares the sum ni ngapi? 7.5, right? And you're giving out how many new shares for everyone? 0.54 for everyone, right? Out of how many that figure has? Out of 1.5 still. So what is the combined number of shares? $8.31. So therefore, combined earnings per share, the combined earnings of shillings at 1.88 million divided by combined number of shares is 8.31. It's like 4 point something. value 3.84. So 3.84. That gives us the 4 marks. Then wanatuuliza, if the price earnings ratio of Songo Limited drops to 12 times after the acquisition, determine the firm's post-acquisition MPS. 2 marks for free. 2 marks for free. After the acquisition, PE ratio inakuwa ngapi? So amesema kuwa combined PE ratio ita drop to 12 times. So kumbuka it's not drops by. Ingekuwa drops by, ingebidi tuangalie imetoka kwa ngapi ndio ikapunguka by this much ndio tupate the new. Because with the current information you can get the PE ratio of some. Ni MPS over EPS. We can get that one, but let's not go that direction. That is not what the question asked about. The new PE ratio will be 12 times. And we have the combined earnings per share. Combined EPS 3.84. So can we have the combined MPS? MPS equals to PE ratio times EPS. So PE ratio is 12 times 3.84. How much? 46? 46.08. The now examiner alikaa ameishiwa na maswali, anaanza kuuliza mambo ya formulate a suitable criteria. Sasa ni kupiga story. A suitable criteria that should guide Songo in determining whether to acquire Twiga Limited or not. So maybe in a statement you just say this. By the way, what should guide us on whether to acquire this firm or not is whether it will make us more rich. If it will reduce our value, then we forget about it. Right? So you just say for Songo Limited to acquire Twiga Limited, for Songo Limited to acquire Twiga Limited, the combined operations should increase. The combined operations should increase the value of the farm. Should increase the value of the farm and the combined earnings per share. Should increase the value of the farm and the combined earnings per share. So this means that the target farm should create more value, should bring more value. The target farm should bring more value to the combined operations. The target farm should bring more value to the combined operations. Just like that. They give some 4 marks for free there. I think in badges you can do more practice now, right? Bring method in the turnover and bring them forward. Maybe If we take 5 minutes of the prayer, will that be okay? Or is it already calling? It's okay, 5 minutes. Just want us to introduce the international financial derivatives to set a framework of how to handle it. So international financial derivatives, in summary, now, for the international financial derivatives, even as you go through the theories, there are some key highlights that we must know. I always divide this topic into three. And the first part that you must know, as far as the international financial derivatives is concerned, is the international financial contracts. Financial contracts. But we need to know number A, forward contracts. How to deal with the forward contracts. How to deal with the money market. Money market contracts. We also need to know how to deal with because I only asked for 5 minutes. Let's just have a framework. We'll put gender into details in our next class. That's how. Then we also have the options. Options contract. Options contract. We'll have the put option and the call options. We shall see what to do with that. So options zinataka kukaribiana na futures contract. Then you get to come and separate one, futures contract. Futures contract. And the most notorious ones, the easy bidding, the forward contract and the money market contract. So, then the second one is the international arbitrage. International arbitrage. Under the international arbitrage, we have the triangular arbitrage. Triangular arbitrage. We have locational arbitrage. And we have covered interest. Covered interest arbitrage. So hizo tatu. Alafu ya mwisho is the parity measures. Number 3, parity measures. So parity measures have interest rate parity, interest rate parity, we have purchasing power parity, purchasing power parity, Then we have international Fisher's effect. International Fisher's effect. Pamoja na hizo three categories zote kitabu imeishi. Then mguzie story kama Z-score zonza kuzia kama by the way. Sawa. Z-score hizo ni kwa unatoa swali na umetoa formula zake. It's just a matter of picking and starting. Some interest rate parity, purchasing power parity. Many questions are set here. Forward contracts na money markets. Around the model occasional the money in the late 2020. Triangulate the term of sana 2013. Covered interest has never been tested. Parity measures scale that is for the still. So within the remaining few lessons, 1 or 2, we need to master these things. So hopefully, I was really hoping that by weekend to go to the Canadian so that next week we can share time to now bring all those things into perspective. Anyway, let's see what God will allow us to do.